Did you put your phone on silent?
Yeah.
There. Are we going to set a timer?
I have.
Oh, okay.
See, I've done I'm so used to you not being here. I can do everything without you. So you can do, hi guys.
Hi guys, I'm back.
The dogs are back too. Yeah, and the budgies, everything's back to normal.
Back to normal. Back to.
And she gets a surprise.
My specials. It's my special purple worms.
That's my last bottle.
Oh, I feel bad.
Why?
I don't know.
You'd like it more. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to drink an old red.
Oh yeah, Jared made up a drink.
I couldn't believe it. Jared, when they were flying, they had the need to send me every amazing thing they did while I'm working 24-hour days. But no, they had to keep sending me every amazing thing they were doing. And he got into his business class lounge. Was that the first time we got into a business class lounge? He looked pretty excited. I know he would have done Melbourne, but
no, that was the first class lounge because of my frequent
lounge.
flyer status.
So he's in his first class lounge, and he could make his own drinks because you can go to the bar. And I'm not going to use Jack Daniels, sorry.
No. Well, he loves Jack Daniels, but he came around to drinking old fashions because Peter kind of got him into old fashions, and so he decided he likes them now. And then he decided he was going to make his own drink, so he put Jack Daniels and then you put a bit of Cointreau because in an old fashioned you have the orange peel. So we thought some orange and then he put bitters and it was actually pretty good. I tried a little bit. But my favourite part of it was that there was an ice bucket right in front of him and instead of using the ice bucket...
I saw he took the ice out of the champagne bucket.
Goes to the chiller for the ice.
I saw that and I didn't comment, but I felt like I should have commented. Why didn't he just get the ice out of the ice bucket? I suppose because he's so tall, he didn't see it all the way down there. Anyway, so I suppose you had to be there.
He's specials. But I agreed to marry that man. I'm engaged now.
You agreed. You put so much pressure on him.
I did not.
Yes, you did. You took him out to an edge of a cliff. He had no choice. You took him to an edge of a cliff.
He took me there. That was his idea. He did so much research the night before because we were going to Zermatt to see the Matterhorn and he was looking up where the best viewpoint was and all of this and then we got the train up and...
You see, you planned all this.
I did not.
I can remember you distinctly telling me back pre-COVID that he's going to propose to you in the Swiss Alps.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I did not. I don't remember this.
And even on this trip, I could see you were just hanging out of everywhere. So you didn't go to the sex pool. Yeah.
I didn't want to go there.
He didn't propose to you in the porno honeymoon suite with a heart-shaped bed.
It was a circle-shaped bed with the little hot tub in the room. I was telling his mum about that weird pool last night. She was...
That you took your boss out.
Oh my God, we're still talking about that. But no, I did not.
You've damaged me for life.
I've damaged myself. I can't. Ugh. Ugh, that place is horrible. But no, I did not take him there. I had no interest in going there again. Thank you very much. That was sufficiently awkward.
But
cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So, but I got all excited because when you went to Boom, there's stuff all on friggin' online on Boom. They must restrict people putting up videos.
No, I think
because hardly anything came up.
It's mostly because it's like, what do you mean? Like people weren't posting from there?
Yeah.
Or it's because it's all very hippie and B1
Right. B1 of all.
Disconnect to connect.
I saw this lake and all these people were doing this weird floating thing. And it reminded me of Zurich, but in brown... Well, not Zurich. St. Maurice, except it was brown water, not blue water.
Oh, the water was blue at the start of the week, and then you put 40,000 hippies on a lake for a week, and by the end of the week, it's not...
Did you see any of what they were doing down there?
We went down there a few times.
They had these touching things where people would walk through and everyone would touch you as you walked through underwater.
No, thank you. No, thanks. I saw, they have a thing there I think they called it the mud experience. I know when we were reading about stuff, and I think they called them the mud people, or maybe we just called them the mud people, but like people get naked and like roll around in the mud, and then you see like these men walking around like fully naked, just covered in this like orange.
Naked. It'd be the same if they were wearing budgie smugglers.
Yeah, but it was a bit. They're like orange from the mud, and it looks a bit.
Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, naked Oompa Loompas.
Oh, was it Donald Trump? Donald Trump's nudity farm. They all came out orange Doritos.
Oh yeah, it was like these naked orange people dancing to psytrance. I was like, where have I?
Were
come?
they actually going to the stage and dance naked?
Yes.
So their willies were flopping around
Yes. Covered in mud. It was.
So I know what you did every day.
It was a very interesting experience. I was a little bit. I think that look, I had fun. Don't get me wrong. Boom was a lot of fun. The music could have been a little bit more to my taste. It was a little bit.
Not.
No, it was a little bit not my taste.
A little bit not.
The psytrance was just too full on. It wasn't. I like my cheesy bouncy prog, and it was just like full on psytrance. So that wasn't really my cup of tea. But other than that, like the grounds were really cool. It was really nice. But I think the main problem was I know like a bunch of people who have been, and the way everyone talks about it is like everything you read online and all this stuff on Reddit. Everyone's like, oh, it's a life-changing experience. And my life is not changed. Well, I mean,
yes, it is. You won't sleep on the side of a hill ever again.
Yeah, true, actually.
You'll take your own tent in future.
Well, I normally do. I just didn't have a choice because I couldn't carry my massive 4-meter canvas tent while we were traveling.
And carried up the hill.
No, the hill was the worst. That was so bad. So yeah, we got there a day after the grounds were opened and all the flat places were taken. So we had to lug all of our stuff up this hill and then pitch a tent like on the side, on a very steep angle, mind you. And then the tent broke after the first night because.
So did you put the tent side on?
No, we put it so that when we would be lying, our feet would be going down.
Oh, so how did you pull the tent down then?
Because the mattresses they gave us were just like these shitty thin yoga mats that had no grip on them. So they kept sliding down because they weren't gripping to anything.
Oh.
And we just kept sliding, and because we would slide down, and then our body
right down to the water hole, and
we'd slide down to like the edge of the tent, and I guess our body weight ripped it off the eyelets, and so the tent broke after the first night. So that was fun, waking up to a collapsed tent on me. I thought I was going to suffocate. But then we kind of fixed it. We MacGyvered it and got some rocks, and we could kind of hold the poles back up again.
Rocks.
Yeah. And then people kept walking past our tent and kicked the rocks out. So by the last night, it was fully collapsed.
Why they kicked it out for a laugh?
No, they were just cooked and
cooked.
like.
So they only go there to be cooked.
After a week of partying in the desert, like you're a little bit fried. So people were just like stumbling, and because being on the hill, people were like stumbling. Beers were really reasonably priced as well. Get a can of beer for like €3. I was like, this is, and they keep them these like little carts around, and they're ice cold. We're good.
Ice cold.
Yeah, ice
I didn't
cold.
get a cold beer in Europe.
We did.
There.
Yeah. And other places, I think.
No, I struggled. I got a cold beer in the UK.
Yeah, they were cold. Everything's cold there, though. Who was I? Oh, there was one of the chicks that was camping near us at Boom. She was from the UK, and I know we were talking about the weather, riveting conversation, and she mentioned something about there being a heat wave in the UK, and I was like, oh, was it 30 degrees? And she's like, yeah, it was. So I was like, oh, I was joking.
Yeah, but that's like, haven't you heard the latest? Global boiling, it's called. I don't know who, I think it was one of the major bodies in NATO or something like that. One of the major bodies said it's global boiling. And then someone showed a picture of the news with the weather, and it was all red on the map, and it had like 25, 27, 30, 24, and it had flames on the bottom of the map. And then some smart person put one up from 10 years ago where the temperatures were hotter, but the map was blue.
That doesn't make much sense, does it?
I wonder who's running this world. The news.
The news.
The
news. Well, they've been doing that for a while now.
Oh, yeah, but it just seems ridiculous. Global boiling.
Global boiling.
How to get... And then you've got all these people that are the ones telling us we have to do things. And, you know, like Bill Gates and that, his jet puts out more pollution your car does in a lifetime. Mm-hmm. He does it in one flight. Oh. And he's the one screaming for us to change our ways.
Well, that's a bit high.
He has 4 jets.
That's a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
That's very hypocritical.
Just sneeze. Oh no, it's gone away. I hate that when you need a sneeze and then it goes away.
We shouldn't put so much stuff up your nose.
Those budgies are really noisy today.
They are noisy. But I have fix. Well, it's a little bit of a fix.
Okay. That's all right.
But then I was watching a really interesting thing. It was about some of the top YouTubers and just their attitudes and things like that. And it was really, really interesting. Casey Neistat was talking, and all of a sudden there was a siren, you know, how loud they are in New York.
Yes.
And the guy goes, "Oh, we should stop for this." And he goes, "No, we don't stop for that. This is what's happening right now. Exactly. This is part of this is what happens with our sound."
I agree.
It was, quite interesting, lots of his, although they're all sellouts. No, they are all sellouts. And I saw it with this one. Basically, they all make so much more money out of all their episodes are based around someone giving them a product, and they'll make up an episode for that product. And it mightn't be super obvious. If you watch carefully, you'll see every single episode, it's paid ads.
I love it. I was watching one of the new episodes of Drag Race, go figure, and the just how they've tried to be subtle about the what's it called, like the paid
sponsorship.
Yeah, like the paid sponsorship in there, and they try to keep it all subtle. Like one of them's getting ready. And they're like, "Oh, I'm going to try the new such and such from whatever the company was," and walk over to this perfect stand that's got the company's name, and they do a zoom in on the product. And they're like, "Oh yeah. Oh, that's really good on my skin." And then they just go back to getting ready. I'm like, that was the most obvious ad ever. Like, don't try and make this natural. That was...
So did you go out and buy some? No. You sure now?
Positive. When people do such obvious stuff like that, I don't know. I find it so... I
purposely now, if I sit like with a Peter McKinnon now, his last one or two, I could see what the ad was going to be. So I purposely do not watch it.
You skip past that part?
No, I just not watch the show. Oh. So he doesn't get because it's not going to be entertaining. It's only been put together to sell that thing. So it's really, I'd rather go watch Skrillex or Fred again or something mindless. Yeah. Or learn more about this frigging camera, which has taken me forever to learn.
Once an ad, once something you can tell is a paid ad, I find I'm so less likely to buy it. Even sponsored ads, I just skip through them on if I'm watching stories on Instagram and then it pops up with that, I just skip. I don't even pay attention to what it is. Whereas if someone genuinely tells me about something, I'm so much more interested and I'm more likely to go out and buy it than I am based off a paid ad.
Well, I'm a bit. Well, it's not naughty. No, I'm actually doing what I should do. So I'm watching. Well, I'm literally hardly ever go on Facebook anymore. Basically, I won't be at all soon because Becca's going to take over all of that for me. So, and Instagram's going to be the same. Twitter, to some people's disgust, because it's not censored. You can put up anything, within reason, but I don't have to censor my art. I can put my art up as is. Yeah. And now it's taken me a while, but now I've been able to get the feeds that I want. So you can either look at who you're following or who you're following and suggestions. And based on who you're following, the suggestions come much stronger with it, which I found it's better. I get a little bit more mixed and I find new people.
That's cool.
And I found a couple of really, really good ones. One was about supermodels, but it was about the old supermodels that had all these shoots you don't see. And that was really cool. So lots of stuff I'm really enjoying. But the ads that come up now, I love the fact there's just one click, not interested, and you never see that ad again.
That's good.
So I let the ad, if I see an ad 2 or 3 times, just pop up. It's just, I know it's an ad to click and it's gone. And I love the fact that I don't see any more ads for cats with these brushes that stick on walls and the cats can scratch themselves on it. I should have taken a screenshot and given it to you. That would have got your fluffs down in your house.
You know what's kind of creeped me out, speaking of ads and social media and stuff? Ever since I made a post announcing that I'm engaged, all of my suggested ads on Instagram are all...
divorce lawyers? No. They're all divorce lawyers, aren't they?
It's all wedding dress and like wedding venues.
Oh, yeah, sorry about the butterfly dresses I sent you.
Oh, it's really pretty.
No, it's bullshit.
Oh, is it AI?
AI.
Damn it.
It's really easy to pick now. After you told me about the Addams Family house with AI, there's all these beautiful rooms overlooking Paris and they've all got all the bookshelves in them. Yeah. Instantly go, these are just bull crap AI.
Yeah.
As much as people said to me, like we had a comment on something the other day, he goes, you're going to be taken over by AI. Yeah. No, I'm not, because I don't do bookcases. There's the frame, I had to drop off some stuff to be framed. And he started talking about AI, and there was a famous photographer from the 80s, I shouldn't not forget his name, but he used to do all these surreal colour pictures of all these people around pools, super bright colours. So he's done the AI and to mention the photographer's name, said pool, and you should have seen what it did to their faces and their bodies. Mangled? Like they just didn't look right. Their bodies like had 3 legs and.
Well, I find a lot of the AI stuff I see, they still can't even get hands right. Like hands always have like 6 fingers or maybe 3, and I don't know, their hands and sometimes the eyes are a little bit looking all. One eye's asking the question and the other's getting the answer. Me after 2 weeks of back-to-back festivals.
Yes.
I was a little bit dead after that. Every time we told someone what we were doing, they were like, are you guys insane? Get your heads checked.
I was glad you went to main stage at Tomorrowland. For some reason, I felt...
Of course I wasn't.
I didn't, but for some reason, I didn't think you were going to...
Well, I didn't on the Friday because I didn't leave that mushroom stage because that was just...
Didn't you go to that other stage, the Freedom stage, for the last set?
Yeah. Oh, we went to one of the stages that was playing drum and bass for a little bit, but then we just pretty much stayed at that because that was the only day that they were playing prog. Yeah. It was just back-to-back DJs that I loved, so I didn't really leave the Purple Mushroom stage.
And you met a couple?
Yes, I did. One? No, I met 2 of them. I met Fabio and we got to see Neelix again, and he remembers us. I feel so seen.
Did you get to the Freedom stage when the guy with the... does all the animated robots and the girl banging on the glass?
I think so. I'm pretty sure we did see him.
The guy who did the Mexican festival and the.
I think maybe.
You'd know. It was the last. It would have been last on of the night.
Maybe.
His show was just unbelievable, like the laser show as well as the show in front of him, and then the screen.
Boris Brejcha was really cool at the Freedom stage.
Yeah, he's a bit cool.
Yeah, he is a bit cool. No, that was good. Oh, tomorrow. How am I miss it? I'm wearing my jumper.
You're wearing a jumper.
I've still got my wristband on.
So you're going to keep that on until you have a shower?
Well, I have a shower with it on. Jared even was playing, he put on Armin van Buuren's set while we were unpacking our suitcase, like from this year as well. I was like, really, Jared?
Has it turned in, has it?
No, he doesn't mind. We didn't get to see Armin. We had to choose between Afrojack or Armin, and we chose Afrojack, but we kind of wished we went to Armin.
I think I would have gone to Armin over Afrojack. Sorry, that's just me.
I know, well, we cooked it. Anyway.
You cooked it.
Anyways, enough about Tomorrowland. But it was so much fun.
Enough about Tomorrowland.
No, but it was so much fun.
It was so much fun. You just don't want to rub it in anymore.
It's all right.
I had lots of fun. I've never done so much editing in my life. I've got RSI in my shoulder. Literally, as soon as my hand goes there, my shoulder aches.
Well, you were complaining towards the end of the Europe trip about how much editing you had to do and how I was distracting you.
You were. You just wanted to party.
No, I was just...
I didn't say distracting. Although you are a distraction.
I think you actually said those words. I think you said that you couldn't wait to go to Prague and lock yourself in a hotel room and edit without any distractions.
Well, Prague didn't work because I had Shay staying with me and we just talked shit.
Sounds like what we do.
Yeah, it was very much. It was like swapping black hair to pink orange hair.
And your podcast went well with my replacements?
Everyone has told me. There's a couple that actually like it better.
Oh, that's
but
fine.
There's plenty of people that said bring back, so.
I don't
but
mind.
either way, it's
Maybe
I
on
know
a
the
red jar and they prefer blue jars.
No, I think it's because with all the others, I need to ask questions of them.
Yeah.
So then the questions I was asking were more modelling or photography related.
Well, yeah, of course. So it's going to be more.
So it's going to be, whereas...
We just talked about
So what's
cooking.
your favourite f-stop?
I like shallow ones. Like the lowest the camera can go is my favourite. Because I like blown out backgrounds.
Blurry background.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
My favourite. As low as it will go.
There's a bit of photography done.
There we go.
Yeah, I did have, and I still have a fair bit. I wrapped, I don't know if you saw my to-do list. Mm-hmm. It was 2 pages long and now it's under 1 page.
That's very good. Mine is about 2 pages long now.
No, it's not. It's not that big.
Pretty good. I know I've still got a lot to get through, but that's all right. I can do it.
You can do it.
I can do it. I'm getting over my jet lag and I can do it.
Well, I'm trying to learn lots of new things. I don't think I hit record on that. Should have a red light on it.
Oh, no.
That's all right. I can go over and do it. I'll swap.
Do you want me to do it?
You don't know what button to push.
I'll learn.
You'll learn. You'll do buttons that you're going to learn buttons, but you don't know which button. Good. That's very well done. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. What are you going to press? Maybe let's just press that one.
I probably would have pushed that one because it's got a circle on it.
There we go. It's got a red light. While Bec was away, so I got a sign in my... Well, I'm going to bounce around everywhere. Really funny.
That sounds unlike you.
I was doing 2 new things for Inspire. Mm-hmm. So I did the How to Find Models 23, and I also did a comparison with RAW. So I compared my Hasselblad in Focus to my Leica in Lightroom, to the Hasselblad in Lightroom, and then the Leica in Capture One. Yeah. I downloaded a demo.
It's too. I don't know. I'm not.
No, don't. You can't. No. So going through, I was able, and this was without. I don't think I did it back and forward. So all I did was went into the. I think I did the Hasselblad. I did a Hasselblad in Focus first. I put my clarity and all of that stuff on there. So when I get into Lightroom, I don't have those sliders. I can do the same look without even putting. I got it nearly identical. Then I brought in.
Impressive.
I brought in the Leica and got the same look again, except the Leica was a little bit too sharp. But then that little trick I learned where you can unsharpen, so you can actually, so I turn all my sharpening off, but I can actually back my sharpening off. I just put my hand next to the screen and keep turning the sharpening down till the creases in my hands or the hair on my hand, not very hairy, but I burnt them all off in the pizza oven before. Well, I did, trying to save my pizza. It was very hot, it's 1,000 degrees in there. It gets a bit hot on your fingertippies. But, so I couldn't get over it. And then when I went into Capture One, I was actually surprised how close I got it. But then with the Mika one, which I haven't edited yet, but I did a little bit at the very end where I did a close-up comparison so I was capturing in Capture One on the Leica. Then I put the same pictures into Lightroom, then edit them, and then edit in Lightroom to how I like it, have my look, and then try to get the same look in Capture One.
Finally. That was the sneeze from before.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. It had that horrible...
Like,
I unsharpened it. It looks... there's even a thing that says destructure. So I destructured it.
It's too sharp.
No, it looked like clarity. It was... The hair was, like, revolting. But it tethers really slow for the first 5 or 6 frames. Then it tethers really nicely. You just plug it in and it's there.
Well,
so almost like you just have to tether.
And then edit them in.
No, I'm going to set up a live folder. So the folder it's getting saved to is also in Lightroom.
Oh, okay.
But I'll have to still... I won't be able to get closer to my look in camera.
So you're just doing it to get the files in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why I'm talking about this is because I pre-warned... Bec loves it when I say everything's changed. I'll tell you tomorrow. It's her favourite thing in the world.
No, I'm getting kind of used to it now.
Well, everything. 5 weeks without Bec and me doing Bec's job and me doing there wasn't that much I had to do, really.
Yeah.
But that's changing. I was actually surprised how little I had to actually do.
Well, because the things that take me, the things that
There's a couple of things I
do.
wasn't doing any of the American stuff.
Yeah, which I was about to say.
But that's still only twice a year we do those.
Yeah,
so
it
it's not
takes
like
me a while though.
Yeah. But with that, I've decided with a lot of things, I want to change a lot of things, what we're doing. So I'm just spending too much of my own time not having some time to do what I want. I'm doing what I have to.
Yeah.
And even if it still means I'm editing, but I'm editing something I want to
do, it's fine.
Not something I have to edit.
Yes. So
I
get all the have to edits.
So I've been looking a couple of things. It's very hard when Bec and I are travelling. That's not easy to record. Just the two of us and have this nice, I can talk to something.
Yeah.
And when I did a little bit with Shay, and the iPhone works great on the 360 gimbal. I'm mad for 360, might sound like it. Now I paid for everything. They don't even know about me. It's definitely not. But actually, really like to. I could walk into a different room, walk back, and it sees me again and comes straight back on.
Except you didn't like having an iPhone sitting on the street on the other side of the road where someone could just run past and grab it.
I kept my head looking a lot because where I was filming, there was nowhere to put it where we were standing. I had to put it on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
But it was in between two cars, and I was too scared someone might...
What if they move the car?
I was trying to keep... It worked pretty good. When we got into the laneway, I jammed it in a window frame and set it to lock. I should have just turned it a bit more because it didn't quite always have me in shot. But I was really happy with how that worked. And I've tried the Raven Eye with DJI, and it just drops out all the time. You just stand there and it drops out and loses you. So that drove me up the wall. I tried DJI's iPhone gimbal. It just lost me all the time again. The 360 is working great. I'm really happy how that's working.
So is that why you bought this little camera?
I've got this other proper 360 camera. So the other one's a 360 gimbal you can put your iPhone into. The 360 camera, not that I've officially used it, it's on now, and we'll put a little bit in here. I love the fact that we can just stick it on just on its, like that's a selfie stick that extends to 2 meters. So you can just stick on the ground, just there, and it's going to film no matter where we go. It's going to have us in the shot, and that's just makes it so much easier for when we're doing stuff like.
Yeah.
Well, remember the disaster we had in Cairns, or Port Douglas?
Yes.
We got 2 bits of footage that didn't work, which. That it was really good footage, but it didn't work, so we have to go back up there and do it again.
That's fine.
I didn't think you'd complain.
Fine to do that. Quite liked it up there. It was nice and warm.
But with that, I've done lots of little homework. I've looked at all the things that annoy me with editing and annoy me with camera angles. So I told you I got that little L bracket, which I'm going to mount my... I'm still not sure. The GoPro Hero is a bit of a pain in the arse.
Yeah, I thought you said you didn't like the GoPro. You said it was too wide.
It's a little bit too wide. Like it could mostly be all right, like just sitting on a stick somewhere, but it's very wide.
Yeah, doesn't it kind of distort because it's wide as well?
It was very awkward to download, but then I found out just pull the card out and download it off the card. If you try and use its own app, it doesn't always work. Yeah, it's just too wide. It's you don't like it.
You just put it on Marketplace and answer the 50 million. Is this still available?
There's a lot of stuff going on for sale over the next month.
Hey.
You're gonna, I'm not joking. There's about 40 items going for sale.
Is this still available? Is this still available? Is this still available?
I'll give you $1.
Oh, with all the scams going around at the moment as well.
What scams?
Those ones, like, remember when we were trying...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, send us a dodgy PayPal, or they ask for your Pay ID or stuff like that. Oh,
those are, yeah.
That's all right. I will handle it. I found it, speaking of that, I find it funny when people click the is this still available and you say yes, and then you just never hear from them. I saw someone making a mockery of it on like a reel or a TikTok or whatever. And it was like if people acted the way in real life the way they do on Marketplace, and it was like someone sitting at a shop and then someone walks in, they're like, is this available? They're like, hi, I'd like to buy this. Like, yes, sure. And then they just like put it down and turn around and walk out without saying anything. Why do people do this? It's exactly what they do. Anyway, that's my little rant about.
But I found it. There's 2 stores I went to in Prague. I walked in and the people on the counter turned their back to me. And started working on the counter behind. They saw me walk up to the counter, and just before I got there, turned around and started working here.
That's such a strange business model.
I know. I didn't. I checked my fly wasn't open. I didn't. I still thought I checked everything. But it was really weird.
Jared had the opposite in Barcelona. He got pressure. He was just like looking because he wanted to find some party shirts to wear.
This sounds like Bali all over again.
It felt like that. Like he was literally just trying to look, and he was just picked up a shirt and was having a look and was kind of like, oh, that's not too bad. And then the guy starts pressuring him, telling him about where it's made, where the material comes from and all this stuff. And Jared's like, okay, cool, man. Like, I'm just having a look.
And what kids you going to keep alive?
And then Jared was just like, oh, like, how much is it? And I think he was like 35. And Jared's like, oh, okay. And he's just having a look at it. And then I think he just didn't like the print or something and put it down. And then, oh, no, I can drop it down to 25 for you. He's like,
well, if you can drop $10 off it that quick,
yeah. He's like,
another 10.
It's like, I was just looking. I was just curious. Like, and he just kept pressuring him into it. And I was like, and there's nothing I hate. Like, when people start acting like, yes.
Of course he did. It's like Bali again. He ended up buying 2 T-shirts there, didn't he? He only went in to get one. He walked out with 2.
So. I think so. But no, I feel like when people are too pushy like that.
I turn off.
Yeah, I'm not interested. It's like the people that try and get you to come into their restaurant and they like try and pull you off the street.
No, so if you're that desperate to get me to eat, it means you're not very good.
Yeah. But then at the same time, if you walk in somewhere and someone turns your back towards you, it's like, well, I'm also not interested. Like,
it made me more interested. Someone turning their back to me, I was sort of like, this is of interest now.
Why?
I don't know.
That's so strange.
I've been in it. I do my Bec hates when I do my things to people.
What thing?
Well, you know some of my things, like in restaurants, I'll have whatever you recommend's the best.
No, I don't hate it when you do that. I hate the fact that you say that to people and instead of them recommending the best, they just say whatever the most expensive thing is. Just because it's the most expensive doesn't mean it's the best. Don't be greedy.
No, I actually had twice it wasn't the most expensive. In fact, wasn't a seafood restaurant, didn't she recommend the fish soup as you got to have that? And she talked me out of the seafood
in Norway.
Thing. In Norway, she recommended the fish soup. Everybody comes here for the fish soup.
Yeah, that was a really good fish soup.
It was a really good fish soup.
I don't know. I find
not
every place, but some places.
I walk into shops that there might be the more expensive shops that have more people serving than actual customers. You know, where they're all just standing around waiting.
Yes.
And they must get commission because they're onto your blowflies.
Yes.
So I quite often walk into them and I say, if you leave me alone, I might buy something. They don't.
They don't.
They don't. They refuse to leave you alone. And I end up walking out because I just want to have a look at everything.
Yeah, and
I mightn't want to buy a single freaking thing, but if you're there going, nah, you should try this, I'm not going to buy anything.
I'm the same. It honestly makes me turn off and walk out of there. It's like, just let me... Let's say if I find websites are doing the same thing now with their little bot things. You go onto a website and you just want to...
The first second up, can I help you?
Go away.
Have you thought about buying this? No, I haven't.
I haven't thought about anything because I just clicked on.
I came to a camera store to buy something camera. I don't want to buy life insurance.
How did we get so derailed?
How we're people persons, that's why. Becca's such a people person.
Such a people person.
I must admit, there's a couple of in-house stuff. I haven't laughed so much in my life where Bec gets on the bus to go to Boom and she's on there in 2 seconds and the hippie behind her has put his big, smelly, dirty foot up on her armrest and it's just sitting there. And I know what Bec's like with She doesn't really have a foot fetish, just smelly feet.
I couldn't smell it, but it was just
Disgusting.
I was just sitting there, and then all of a sudden I see out the corner of my eye this crusty toe, like, so, oh my God, I was like, and then the guy in front of me.
I would have licked your finger and put it between the toes, gave him a wet willy in the toes. He would have moved in a... Oh, no, he might not have moved. He might
How do
stay
you know?
there.
I'm not, I wasn't touching the thing.
Did you camp near him?
I don't know. I didn't see his face. But then the one that was in front of, so I've got the one that's got a crusty toe on my armrest. I was like, ugh, that's gross. And then the one in front of me, after about 10 minutes, gets his dreadlocks and picks them up and then like plops them over the headrest.
Oh, so everything's crawling out and jumping on you.
So like these dreadlocks are just hanging down like over the back of the seat. So I've got smelly dreadlocks in front of me, and then I've got a crusty toe next to me.
And Jared's just sitting there snoring, sound asleep.
Yes. And this was and I had this for 3.5 hours, and I was like, oh, this is the start of a week.
Yes, I must admit,
fun.
I did laugh on that. I laughed a lot, because I know how much that would annoy you.
I was just more like, that's a bit gross.
It's a bit gross.
What? Who does this?
Hippies. That's why they banned all the drugs, because the whole world would have become hippies.
The hippies were hippieing.
Yeah, and the New Balance would never have been a company.
What? Oh,
They don't wear shoes.
I don't know how people don't wear shoes. Everyone kept like questioning.
Oh, sorry. All the native people in the world don't wear shoes.
Yeah, I know, but
Except Indians, they had Ugg boots.
Ugg boots.
Ugg boots. Weren't they based on Indian
I don't know.
footwear?
I really want a pair
Was
of...
it Moccos?
Maybe.
Moccos.
Mockies.
Mockies.
I really want a pair of... No, I think because I always wear shoes, my feet are really... So if I go barefoot, I'm
Soft.
like, ouch. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like...
Princess. The Princess Diaries.
Yes. Everyone always questions me at festivals, like, aren't you hot wearing those boots? I'm like, yes, but I will be protecting my legs and my feet.
So my boots survived.
Yeah, I do. Well, they have, but I'm a little concerned about them because it was very, very wet on the last day of Tomorrowland, and I'm just hoping that they're
I think
okay.
am I delaminated?
I hope not, but it was very wet. I was a bag person. I didn't want to do it. I've never worn one of those plastic ponchos before. I refused to stoop to that level, and I had to. It was too wet. I was a bag person. It was not a stylish moment in my life.
That's right, you had that new outfit.
I know.
You covered it and put it in a garbage bag. Although at the end of a week, you would have been pretty garbage, so I think it was appropriate wear for you.
That was the last day of 2 back-to-back festivals, so it was very appropriate. I did feel pretty... Oh, that was nice having a shower and a king-size bed every night of Tomorrowland.
Yeah, we only got like 6 hours sleep, wasn't it, every night?
We got back at like...
3?
Well,
Well,
like
you were
about
talking
2...
to me at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, we got back about 2:33 each night, and then we had to get on a bus. The bus left at 12 p.m. sharp.
Oh, I thought it was 11.
No, it was 12 p.m. sharp. So
I'm going to look up my messages. I'm pretty certain you've said 11 to me. You lied to me. I think you might have said 11:30, so
No, I said 11:45.
You had to leave your room by then so you could get to the bus. Yes.
I would not lie.
You would not lie.
Anyway, what other things have you changed since I've been gone? We've changed.
I change. I was going to say, I change. If you look in my office, one of my signs is back to front. When I filmed, I started talking about this before. When I was filming the thing on models and the thing I did on Capture One and things like that, all that stuff, I decided I'm not going to set up a big camera rig. I'll just set up my iPhone on the 360 gimbal. Mm-hmm. But silly me left the iPhone facing, so I used the front camera. And it turned all the writing back to front, but it left me proportioned to where I was. How does that work? So if it's filming here, you're still going to be here, that's still going to be here, but everything on there is back to front.
Because...
On the front camera.
Because aren't you flipped?
No, I'm not. Yeah, so I'm on the screen camera, not the...
Yeah, but isn't everything flipped?
But I wasn't flipped. If you look at it, it's still got me sitting here and still got the computer there. It's not got the computer there.
Because it's mirror.
But it didn't mirror me across. I'll mirror this way.
Yeah. Well, like, you know how...
My brain nearly explodes.
Because if I look in the mirror here, like...
I suppose if I'm filming here, the camera's there and you're there.
Because, like, if I'm looking here, the Tomorrowland on my thing is back to front.
Why, if the camera's looking at you that way, why is it changing you?
My brain's hurting.
That's all right. I've been there. I'm going to film something, must say Wednesday or Thursday, using the front camera, but I can't see the screen. So I'll be using the proper camera.
The back camera.
Is that the back camera?
Yeah, that's the back camera.
Back camera. So if you film yourself here, it flips this back to front.
Yes, but that's like if I look in the mirror right now, the Tomorrowland writing is back to front.
Wouldn't they have built in the app and just flipped it so it's the right way?
No, because if I take a selfie...
So is that why everybody who's driving a car looks like they're in the passenger seat, but they're really driving illegally?
Yeah. Wait, what?
When you see the people that are doing stuff out of their car, and you know they're driving, you know they're on their own, but they look like they're in the passenger seat.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, because it's flipped.
No, but that's not been doing what... Anyway, my brain's starting to hurt.
Why would you do this to me? It's my first day back.
It'll take a full week till you're back properly.
I'm jet lagged. I've never been this jet lagged.
I don't know how... maybe it's... The extra 5 weeks, your body got even more used to...
That's what my sister said. My sister said it was because I was overseas for so long that my body got extra...
But we don't have it when we go over.
I also think maybe because...
You party so freaking hard and lack of sleep.
Well, that. But also I was go every day for 3 months. And the second I got home, my body was like, ooh, sleep. And just went crash.
I got home, I worked, I got back to here and I think it was like 9:30 in the morning. And I had a little bit of a nanny nap at about 2 for half an hour. Then it lasted through till about 7:38 and I got the head nod. So I went to bed and I was awake at like 5:36. So I just got up and started working. Then the next day I got the head nods again around about 6:37. So I just went to bed. And that was it.
What time did you wake up if you went to bed at 6:37?
I still woke up next morning around 6 or 5.
So you got a 12-hour sleep.
Oh, yeah, I got heaps.
It's not bad. I got a 12-hour sleep. I think I slept for 17 hours on Friday. Well, including Thursday night. I think I slept for like 12 hours because I went to bed at like maybe 10 or 11 on Thursday night. And then I woke up at like 11 on Friday. Then I was awake.
She wanted to work on Friday. We got so much to do. I'll come to work. I thought, yeah, all you're going to do is come and go to sleep.
Well, I didn't come to work and I slept.
Yes.
And then I got up and I went to the couch and I think I had some food and then Jared very nicely put on Tipping Point for me. We put on Pointless and then Tipping Point came on and then I fell asleep during Tipping Point. I was spewing. I was so excited to watch my Tipping Point.
What's even better in
London.
In London and Tipping Point's been cancelled and now got soccer or golf.
No, it was horse racing.
Horse racing, it's even better.
I'm so mad about that. Why would you cancel Tipping Point?
I need some more ice and a swap. You need to talk while I get ice. So
what
otherwise
am I
people
talk
get...
about?
You've had 5 weeks of not talking.
I've been talking a lot. Everyone keeps asking me where my favourite place was. I could talk about that. I really liked Croatia. I wish I did more research about Croatia. Peter, we should go to Croatia next year. Croatia was really nice. It was really pretty. You could do landscape photography.
Oh, thank you. Right up my alley.
I wish I did more research. I didn't realise there was like really nice islands. I found out there was nice national parks, which I went to. Oh, I got interrogated in Croatia.
Is that when your bags got ripped apart?
Yes, because they didn't believe that we were there to go to national parks because they had Ultra Music Festival on.
Well, you went there too.
Well, but not at the time. We weren't going there. We didn't have tickets. We weren't planning on it. So we didn't lie to them much. We weren't actually planning on it. we got it through security and they were like, are you going to Ultra? And we're like, no, we're just here to go to national parks. So it was almost like they were like, yeah, we've heard that one before.
You look like.
You look like you're going to a music festival. Grab our bags, chuck them through x-ray machines, and then like they pull it out and start going through like everything.
Yeah, the funniest thing was Jared hadn't proposed to you at this stage and the ring was hidden somewhere in the bag and he didn't want them opening it up in customs.
I was getting to that. Like when they were searching mine, like they had two ladies, like one on each side of my suitcase, and one of them like pulls up one of my face creams and she's like, what is this? I'm like, it's like oil for my face. And then the other one picks up my mug from Harry Potter, like from Harry Potter Studios, and she's like, what is this? I'm like, it's a cup. Have you not seen one?
You didn't need to put a Jim Jeffries voice on for that.
That's kind of how I said it, though. I was like,
it's a cup.
Lady, like, have you
drink drugs out of this cup?
Have you not seen a mug before?
The funniest thing was when someone said to you, do you know why we're doing this? And you said, yeah, you're checking for bombs. You can't use that word.
That was in Sydney. Like,
so what word do you want me? Explosives. Isn't it the same thing? Sorry, a bomb explodes, an explosive explodes.
That was, the worst part is he was training someone and like, yeah, they stopped me to do the little swab
thing.
Don't
ask a dumb question.
Literally, and don't train someone this as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what this is for? I'm like, yeah, it's the bomb check. You cannot say that word. You can get in a lot of trouble. We are searching for explosives.
Same thing.
Oh my God.
They failed their parking inspector test.
I was trying not to laugh so hard at him.
I wouldn't have been able to keep it straight.
But yes, then back to Croatia though. But yeah, like after they questioned what a mug was and zipped up my bag, I was waiting for Jared patiently, and obviously I didn't know he's got the ring in there, and he's like sweating bullets, being like, oh God, if the guy pulls out the box and opens it up, he's like, am I gonna have to propose to Bec right here in customs? And then he's like, maybe I should sneakily say something to the guy like, hey man, there's a box in there, just please don't pull it out because it's got a ring in it. And he's like,
sorry, if
no,
you
if
said
I say that, they're
he's
going to
pull it out.
So we was just standing there like really hoping they didn't, and thankfully they did. But they were being so like, he kept looking, he's like, have you got anything in here? If you've got something that's going to be really bad for you. And Jared's like, no, I don't. Like,
so if you got something that's going to be really bad for you, have you got anything? Well, if it's going to be really bad for me, I'm going to say no.
Well, he's like, well, I think he said you could tell me, but if I find it, it's going to be really bad for you. And Jared's like,
but if you told him, it's still going to be really bad.
Anyway, obviously it was fine, and we got.
That's when you have, in that bag there. And he pulls out and it's just dirty underwear that hadn't been washed in a week. Yeah, sorry, that's really going to be really bad. I didn't want you to touch that because, they're from Boom. No, you hadn't been in Boom at that stage.
Oh, that was funny. But no, aside from that, after we got through being interrogated, Croatia was beautiful. We should go there. Food was a bit funky. No offence, Croatia.
What? Do I look like a terrorist?
Tourist?
Well, that's what Kiki... Like, it was amazing catching up with Kiki. So Kiki was sort of like an assistant before Bec or before Rosie. Because she wanted to learn photography, ended up being very good friends, and she's back in Prague now in a tiny little town called Pilsen. And we went out there for a day, and her brother is sort of like the mayor of Pilsen.
Oh, really?
And he's so proud of his little town.
That's really
he's
cute.
so, like, all the achievements he's done in there. And, we went and had amazing tacos. So if you're going to tell me where's a great place to go eat tacos, go to Pilsen in Czech Republic.
I would not expect that.
The tacos were equal to some of the best I've ever had. Anyway, so he's met us up at the tacos and he said, I just need... And Kiki's going, well, Peter's not really a tourist. He goes, I just need to show... So, hour and a half, 2 hours later... And we went into a Jewish synagogue, and you saw what I did in there. I'm not mentioning. Anyway, we had to put on the little caps.
I know, you looked very cute with yours.
Cute. I didn't like... Oh, it's just a me thing.
I thought it was cute.
Well, all the ground floor, women are forbidden unless it's on tour. So once they're actually doing... Women aren't allowed in there. They're allowed here, but they're not allowed. I don't like any of that. Anyway, so he did this little tour and showed how this was built and everything, and then he... took us to this pub and showed me this statue. And the statue, I can't think of the name. It's a famous guy from World War II, American. famous American.
Yankee Doodle?
No, it's World War II, not the Civil War. And we're not talking about Boom, where you're yanking doodles as they come out of the water, just so they get the mud off their doodles, so they're yanking them. No, nothing like that. Oh, it's a famous American war man from World War I or World War II. Anyway, they built a statue, and they've done it in a way so it's not like obvious that when these cancel culture woke people want to pull it down. And they had the family of this famous person come out for the unveiling, unveiled it, and I looked at it and said, looks like a stick.
What?
Well, that's why it won't get pulled down. It doesn't look anything like the general, whatever his name was. So nobody's going to say, that is such and such, we're going to pull that down.
It's just a stick.
And no, it was like a squarish steel, it was a symbol. And he said when they dropped,
like a tree branch.
It's a fairly big tree branch too. When they dropped the sheet off it, the family's just going to, and where's the statue?
Oh my god!
It was a bit funny.
It was a bit funny.
Yeah, we had the tour and then we had to go to this brewery, this pub that was a famous
that sounds more
pub.
like your alley.
Well, one thing, he said, you got to go to the toilet. I said, no, I'm fine, thank you. No, you need to go to the toilet. So I get up to go, no, you need to take your camera with you. I said, no, I know what it looks like. I don't need to take a photo of it. It was amazing.
Why?
It was all old porno from the 60s. All the wallpaper was wallpapered in 60s porno.
Not where I was expecting this to go.
Guess what? Shay went in, as everybody else went in there to have a look.
Interesting.
It was actually really cool. Actually, it was actually really cool. And then in the women's room, it was just boring. I think it was tapestry or something.
That's not fair. Why don't we get it a little
Well, they
bit?
all went into the men's toilets. That's where they wanted them to go in the first place.
Okay, makes sense. Checks out.
Anyway, that's it. I'm not a tourist, and I put up with that. And the whole way back, Kiki was apologising to me. I know you're not a tourist. Sorry for the last 2 hours. You just wanted to get home and have a drink. The beer was cold.
Well, there you go. You lied before. You said that you didn't.
No, there it was nice and cold. And they actually have the unhomogenated or whatever it is, a big barrel in the bar. So it comes out straight out of the barrel. Not like a keg, out of the unhomogenated.
Oh.
I don't know. Dogs are making noise. Whiffs might be home.
Yes, I think maybe. I don't know.
You don't know.
Potentially.
Anyway.
Doggos.
Well,
that's fun.
Other changes? Yes, I'm getting back to doing my stuff big time.
Yeah.
So I started working on some of my books and started editing like a beast.
People always ask us if Peter's got any books, any coffee table books, and the answer is always no, but we've decided finally we're going to do 1 or 2 or 3.
I want to release specs first, but I need to shoot a bit more.
We could shoot more.
You've got to be around. You can't disappear for me. And we tried to shoot when we were away, but
We shot a bit.
partying and sleeping got in our way a little bit.
We shot a bit though.
A little bit.
We did. Well, and once give me a few days to get America stuff sorted, and then
I know I'm not shooting you till maybe end of week or next week.
Maybe next week. Maybe give me this week to come back to Earth.
Wake up.
I'm awake. I just need to. I need to organise some stuff. We should probably book where we're staying in America. That's a little bit important.
I think we need to book the studios first.
That's also a little
so
bit
we can tell everybody where we're going.
Yeah, and then we can book where we're staying close to there. Maybe I should do that. I might do that.
Not far from sold out.
Yeah, which is really good. I think
LA is the only one that's a little bit slow, but after seeing the stuff on Twitter, I understand that. Yeah. Although Philadelphia, they went show an area and it looks like Walking Dead.
Really?
No, I'm serious. You'd swear you've walked into a zombie movie.
Ooh.
It's one of the homeless areas, but everybody is completely off their feet. They're just asleep, standing like this.
That's scary.
It's really scary. It's that whole fentanyl thing.
That's sad. I don't
really
like
sad.
That.
No, it's really, really, really sad what it's been shown. I don't know how much it's been
It's true.
over publicised. Like it had to be true because they filmed it. It didn't look like CGI. It didn't look like AI zombies. Unless they employed actors to do this.
Maybe. Who knows?
No, they wouldn't because that would be going against the government. So it'd only be going if it was going for the government would employ actors. So they've got more money if they're in government to employ actors to then fake out things that weren't really true. It's conspiracy theories, mate.
Where's your tinfoil?
A tinfoil?
Where is it?
I did see a tinfoil.
What do you mean?
Oh, in Krakow. I saw a tinfoil person.
Like actually?
Sitting on the footpath,
Like with
carrying
tinfoil?
tinfoil. Yeah. He'd get up and he'd move like a robot and he'd sit down and people would give him money. Imagine jump. That was worth it. Oh, did Jared scare you once? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
In Croatia, actually. So we were actually on a national park tour because we didn't lie to security.
That's right.
And we were walking through and we had this tour guide and he was telling us that they've got vipers there. It's the deadliest snake that they have in Europe, I think. And apparently vipers aren't born in eggs, like they don't hatch from eggs like the rest other snakes do. They're born live. And the mums give birth to them in a tree and then the first thing they do is push the babies out because they're babies and they can't control their bite yet. So she doesn't want them biting her, so she pushes them out. And he's like, so around September, you need to be a bit careful walking through because maybe a viper might drop on your head. And I'm like, thank God it's July and it's not September. And we're walking along and what does my lovely fiancé do? Walks behind me so I can't see what he's doing, picks up a stick and then creeps up behind me and drops the stick on my head and then proceeds to kill himself laughing.
He's your fiancé now. He is allowed to do this stuff. I can't believe the change since once the ring. It's like
no, he did this before he proposed.
Oh, did he?
Yes, and I still said yes after he.
Yeah,
did
I've
this
noticed he has changed. Maybe it's because he sees what I do to you.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
This is unfair. Why does he get all the fun? I'm going to start doing this stuff.
I don't think it's the ring. I think it's you two. I'm banning you two from hanging out. You've got him drinking old fashions. You've got him shit stirring me. This isn't fair.
That's pretty cool.
It's not cool. It's unfair.
This is really cool.
Takes ugly photos of me while I sleep on public
Hey,
transport.
I only did that because why did I do the one of you? There's a reason for it.
Because I looked hideous.
Oh, you did look pretty funny. I didn't show anybody but you, so at least not like your fiance who sends them to me like bang, 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 bang. And Beck still hadn't seen them till I showed her this morning.
Such a prick. Because
And you're going to marry him.
I know. We've already started bickering. We were bickering about who puts more washing away the other day. I was like, we're not even married yet.
See, I wouldn't know what to bet on with that because I only know my experience with you.
What do you mean?
And well, if it can be done tomorrow, it will be. There's no hurry.
No, if I put the washing away, I always put his away. Whereas if he puts the washing away, he'll always leave
Oh, you mean
my...
clothes washing?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about dishwashing and that.
No, he'll
Because you don't
always...
tend to put away, you wet it and it stays on the bench wet.
No, I leave it to air dry and then when it's dry, I'll put it away.
A week later.
No, it's not later. I've always put his clothes and his socks and undies away. He doesn't put away my... He puts away his stuff and then leaves mine.
Yeah, but I don't know if I put trees away. Because I don't know where her stuff lives.
That's
and
where
I'd
his
be told off.
That's what he's...
So, and you would do the same. Where did you put...
But he doesn't put my socks and undies away and he knows where, like, there's an undies drawer and a socks drawer.
Oh, no, I could put tree socks and undies.
Yeah, and he doesn't
Oh, no, she has two different undies drawers. She has everyday undies and...
Specials.
I wasn't going to go there.
Well, he doesn't.
No, the incontinence one. No, I'm joking.
Oh, my God.
Do you have an incontinence undie drawer?
No, I don't. I have one drawer. But I must have struck a nerve because the other day he was like, oh, look at what I'm doing, and wasn't putting my socks away.
Oh my God. I think we have been hanging around too much together. So he did the Jim Jeffries walk while he did it as well.
A little
You've
bit,
been
yes.
watching Jim Jeffries too much.
Yeah.
Anyway, our timer's gone off, and sorry Beck's back. I
Sorry,
really
guys.
apologise for that. I've asked Mika to stay, but it looks like she's off to Europe. She just got her visa to go back to Europe. So I can't use her.
Shay's also
Shay's
in Europe.
She's in America, but
isn't
she's
she?
about to go to Europe, doing some awesome stuff. So if you
You can ask Anna to come back.
I could ask Anna to come back. Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you heard that, didn't you? Okay.
Okay.
Lottie hasn't done one yet. No, I'm joking.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I don't mind. It's.
You enjoy these. You said yourself.
I know.
Right. I'm stirring you.
Okay.
I've had 5 weeks of not stirring you. I have lots of catching up to do. I've got spiders all set up in the studios and everything, snakes and death adders and...
No, not vipers, please.
Anyway, catch you
Bye,
next
guys.
week.